Warning. The following analysis time features the analogies and theories from a game that is not finished yet. Once the game is completed, this video might not make any shred of sense. I am currently going into the lore of a game that is only 15% completed. So deal, pulls. Yandere Simulator. It's a game where a girl kills almost everyone in her school just to keep a boy single. Fun for the whole family. Bring grandma! She doesn't care! In all seriousness though, Yandere Simulator seems like it's going to be a good game. I mean, I can't really tell when it's only 15% done, but it's already working on a lore, it's already got key gameplay mechanics, and it looks like it's got its full school going on, so I'm pretty hyped for this game. Going back to the lore I mentioned, there is very little known about it. But what we do know is from a couple tape recorders hidden around school that you can play in the computer lab. I checked around for them and ended up finding all 10. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to listen to all of them. That may seem kind of bad considering they're all each 1 minute, which would make the time 10 minutes. Just listening to them, but that's what we need to do to get you and me like on par with the lore. So I'm going to play all 10 for you. Sit back, grab some popcorn, let's hear that juicy lore.
Looks like it still works. As long as it's recording, I suppose I might as well say something. How long has it been since I last used this thing? It's been at least 2 decades. Almost 3. Those were better times. I was so young back then. My future seemed so bright. I remember following my dreams. I remember a promising career. I remember being happy. If I could turn back time, what would I do differently? I know exactly what I should have done. I shouldn't have gotten involved with that case, with that girl. Pursuing her was the right thing to do. But if I hadn't involved myself with her, I'd still have a career. When did it begin? I think it was April of 1989. The peak of my career as an investigative journalist. That's when I heard about a murder at the local high school. The police had no leads. I decided to investigate it myself. I tried to be a hero. And that was the worst mistake of my life. The school's faculty didn't let me conduct an investigation on school grounds. They were highly concerned with maintaining their prestigious reputation. They didn't want any police or journalists snooping around and ruining the school's image any more than the murder already had. Or maybe they just had something to hide and didn't want the authorities to find out. To this day, I still don't know how the school managed to convince the police that any crime that takes place on school grounds can only be investigated for 6 hours maximum. I heard a rumor that the school's headmaster bribes the police department to expedite their investigations as much as possible. There were a lot of unsavory rumors about the school's headmaster, but none of them proven to be true. Because I couldn't work around the school, I used to gather information by interviewing students outside of the school gate when they entered or left the school. It was at this point in time that I noticed a peculiar girl who was quite obviously stalking one of her seniors. I decided to keep my eye on her, and before long, I began to observe some disturbing behavior from her. From the school gate, I witnessed the girl do more than just stalk an upperclassman. She stalked any girl who spoke to him. Through student interviews, I kept tabs on what happened to those girls. They became the victims of bullying, were expelled, and in some cases, stopped coming to school. I frequently saw the girl running with a mop and a bucket, as though she always had some sort of mess to clean up. That girl was using manipulation, intimidation, and sometimes even violence to sabotage the boy's love life. If she wasn't above that kind of behavior, the possibility of murder didn't seem too far off. I didn't want to believe that a schoolgirl would actually commit murder just to keep a boy single, but the evidence was staring me straight in the face. That's when I learned a crucial piece of information. The girl who was murdered at the beginning of the school year had a crush on the same boy that was being stalked. The final piece of the puzzle had fallen into place. I knew that I had found the culprit. I went to the police with my findings. Took a lot of talking, but I was eventually able to convince them to take the girl into custody. The idea of a murderous schoolgirl was scandalous enough to attract lots of attention. Word of her arrest quickly spread across the entire nation. The trial turned into a media circus. I became a celebrity practically overnight. I didn't want to be a public figure, but I did want my investigative skill to be recognized. I hoped that all the attention would boost my career. As it turns out, I was dead wrong. That manipulative little schoolgirl put on the best act I've ever seen. She cried nonstop, feigned ignorance at every opportunity, and had an excuse for every accusation leveled at her. The court fell in love with her, the media fell in love with her, the entire damn nation fell in love with her. She called me a dirty pervert who enjoyed leering at schoolgirls. She called me a fame-seeking yellow journalist. She claimed that I only accused her of murder for sensational headlines. The court bought every word of it. The day the judge declared her innocent, the entire country celebrated like it was a damn holiday. From that day forward, I was a national disgrace. I was known across the country as a lecherous journalist who stalked schoolgirls and tried to throw a girl in prison to boost his own career. I saw disgust in the eyes of every person who looked at me. My house and my car were vandalized every day for weeks. Needless to say, I was never able to work as a journalist again. The police department that arrested the girl was also the subject of national criticism. They were accused of being incompetent fools who would arrest anyone without sufficient evidence. Ever since then, the police in that town have been extremely lenient in an attempt to repair their reputation, and don't want to go anywhere near the local high school except for extremely brief periods of time. But the worst part of the entire experience didn't come from the media or the public. Immediately after the trial, I tried to escape the press by hiding in an alley behind the courthouse. Only one person found me there. It wasn't a journalist or a reporter. It was the girl that had just been declared innocent. I'll never forget her face that day. She was smiling, but her eyes were blank, empty, soulless, like a doll's eyes. She looked like she didn't have a single ounce of humanity in her entire body. With that smiling face, she said to me, "It would be very easy to make your death look like a suicide. Don't ever cross me again." She turned around and left without another word. My life was a living hell for about a year, while the trial was still fresh in people's minds. Eventually, the hatred subsided, but it never truly died. There was always someone who recognized me, no matter how much I tried to change my appearance. Finding employment was nearly impossible. I drifted between part-time jobs and spent my free time drinking to ease the pain of becoming the national punching bag. It was around this point in time that I met my future wife. I still don't understand what she saw in me. I was an absolute wreck, not to mention the laughingstock of the entire country. But as soon as we met, she wanted to spend every waking moment with me. She wouldn't let me out of her sight, and got possessive if another woman so much as looked at me. I quickly came to depend on her for everything. It wasn't long before I couldn't live without her. I certainly wasn't in any state to take care of myself. I was like an adult-sized baby, helpless and vulnerable. Who knows? Maybe that's what she was attracted to. Maybe she just wanted to experience the sensation of owning a person. Maybe she wanted to keep a human pet. Maybe all she wanted was someone who she could emotionally depend on. Even after all these years, I don't understand why anyone would waste their time with a man like me. But none of that mattered. Despite all my flaws, she accepted me. And that's all I needed. We got married about 6 months after meeting each other. My wife died while giving birth to our only child. I still don't know how I possibly found the strength to keep going after I lost her. I was completely dependent on her for absolutely everything. I could barely take care of myself, much less a baby. Somehow, I managed to make it through those years. But even after all this time, I'm still a deadbeat drunk who can't hold down a job. It was very difficult to love my own infant daughter, knowing that my wife was dead because of her. I'm pretty sure I was a horrible father. She practically had to raise herself. And I never tried to spend much time with her, or learn about her interests. Even now, I don't think I know very much about her. I don't even know what kind of person she's turned into. I don't even know what her everyday life is like. I know that she spends all of her time on her computer. She bought it herself. She seems to have a lot of money for someone her age. I'm afraid to ask where it comes from. Sometimes she comes home with blood on her clothing. I can't tell if it's her blood or someone else's blood. I try to stay out of her business. It's partially out of respect for her privacy, but it's mostly out of fear. I've never told anyone about any of this. Never saw a shrink, never had any friends to confide in. I thought that it would be therapeutic to record my feelings, even if I'm only talking to an obsolete machine. But this hasn't calmed me down at all. The only thing to come out of this experience is that all of the anger and hate I've kept buried for the past 2 decades has risen back to the surface. I don't think I can go back to the way things were before. I don't think I can go back to wasting my time with crappy part-time jobs, drinking, and sitting on a couch feeling miserable. I don't want this to be my life. But I can't let myself die just yet either. Not until I see justice served. That girl from 1989. She's a grown woman by now, but she's never been punished for the sins of her youth. I can't go on living in a world where a monster like her walks around in public. I'm the only one who knows the truth about her, so I'm the only one who can bring her to justice. I still know how to track a person down. I still know how to learn a person's secrets. I still know how to dig up the truth. For the first time in decades, I feel like I have a purpose. I feel like I know what to do with my life. I'm going to deliver justice to that murderer. I'm going to die trying. This old antique was good for something after all. I found her. It wasn't hard. She never even moved out of her hometown. I've been following her around town for the past week. It's not that hard to follow someone without being spotted if you know the right tricks. The only difficult part is looking at her without being consumed with disgust. Thinking about what she got away with. Thinking about what she's responsible for. It almost makes me go blind with rage. This whole week, I felt like something was wrong. Yesterday, I realized what it was. I'm surprised it took me so long to figure it out. She suddenly changed directions while walking, or linger in one place for seemingly no reason. I recognize that behavior. It's my own behavior. I know what she's doing. She's stalking someone. It didn't take me long to figure out who her prey was. A young woman just out of high school. I don't know what she's done wrong, but she's clearly marked for death. She'll be dead within a week if I don't do something. I want to warn her that a killer is stalking her, but I can't repeat the mistakes of the past. In order to convict this monster and send her to prison, I need firm evidence that she's a murderer. If I save this young woman's life, I won't have any evidence. I have to let her die. And I have to be there when it happens, filming her murder. It's the only way to get the evidence I need. The only way to make sure that justice is served. But is this really justice? Letting a woman die? If I don't get this monster arrested, then there will only be more victims in the future. So letting her commit murder one last time is the right thing to do. Isn't it? I'm a fool. I'm a goddamned fool. I got sloppy. She caught me. I followed her into an alley, lost her in the shadows. Then I heard her voice from behind me. Long time no see, Mr. Journalist. I turned around and saw her just inches away from me. She was smiling. I recognized that smile. It was the exact same smile she wore when she threatened my life in 1989. I didn't know what to do. I just turned and ran. I've broken a truce that lasted almost 3 decades. She knows I was after her. There's no way she'll let me live. I'm doomed. I can't go to the police. I'll sound like a babbling lunatic without evidence, and right now I don't have any. Even if they do listen to me and investigate her, they won't find anything. My only option is to leave town. No, it's worse than that. I have to leave Japan altogether. I searched for you, but I couldn't find you. I can't wait for you to come home. I have to leave immediately. I'm going to gather all of the recordings I've made so far and put them where I know you'll find them. That way, at least you'll know why your father disappeared so suddenly. I only hope that she doesn't try to get revenge on me by harming you. I don't know when I'll be back. I don't know if I'll be back. I don't know if she's willing to cross oceans to hunt her prey. If she is, I'll try to lure her into a trap, try to expose her true nature in front of the police. It's my only hope. I know you can take care of yourself. If I had more time, there's so many things I'd say to you, but I can't. Not now. Stay safe. I love you.
See? Told you guys it was going to be long. That took up like half my runtime. Looks like I gotta go fast.
Oh my god! Are you not recording? Are you recording, Cricket?
Now, there's a bunch of little things we can ask about these tapes. Like, who was the wife character? But I think we all know what we want to hear. Or, once you hear me say it, you'll think, oh yeah, I kinda wanted to know what that was. My question is, who's the guy that recorded the tapes' daughter? Now, he has a daughter, this is confirmed, and he left tapes around the school so the daughter can find them. You, being the player, found them. So, you would naturally make assumptions that Yandere-chan is the daughter. So, let's go over some of the things that he says about his daughter, and let's see if they match up to Yandere-chan. It is said multiple times throughout the tape recordings that her dad drinks a lot. We don't really know much about Yandere-chan's family, so I'm just going to say this one as a possibly. The guy also said that his daughter has a computer. Look over on Yandere-chan's desk and you will see a computer, so I'll say this one is a yes. The guy says that she has a lot of money, and he's afraid to ask where it comes from. This could be hinting at a future gameplay mechanic, but nobody really knows for sure, so I'll give this one a pass. He also says that she comes home with blood on her clothing. Considering this is about a game where a girl does nothing but kill people, that's not too far off to say, so I'll give this one a yes. And finally, the guy that made the recordings hid them around the school, saying that his daughter will find the tapes. And this is obviously off because Yandere-chan works as a dairy farmer. So that's 3 out of the 5 traits that Yandere-chan matches to. And it's not even confirmed about the other 2. That seems pretty good, but just almost being like the daughter isn't being the daughter. Sorry, Yandere-chan, but we gotta look somewhere else for the daughter. So I actually did a bit more digging and found another student that coincidentally has a few of the same characteristics of the daughter. In fact, I'd say that she practically is the daughter by this point, but meh, who cares? I'm just a lonely theorist. Are you ready to see the student? Okay. Duh. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da. Di-da-da-li-da-li-da. Di-da-da-li-da-li-da-li-da-da-da. Di-da-da-li-da-li-da. Di-da-da-li-da-li-da-li-da-da-da. Di-da-da-li-da-li-da. Di-da-da-li-da-li-da-li-da-li-da-da. Di-da-da-li-da-li-da. Di-da-da-li-da-li-da-li-da-li-da-da. Di-da-da-li-da-li-da. Di-da-da-li-da-li-da. It's this chick. Her. This is Kokona, and while she may seem like the game's punching bag right about now, she's actually made up of key rival mechanics in the game. So, yeah, she's kind of important. And she has several layers of her personality that add up to the daughter of the man of the tapes. This might be one of the things that I was talking about where it might change as the game goes on. The creator himself said that Kokona is going to be split into several different rivals. She's just a prototype for a rival. That's why he always uses her as a punching bag in his videos. So, maybe this will make up one of the girl's personalities, being the guy in the tape's daughter. I don't know. What happens, happens. But right now I'm saying Kokona, or one of the girls inside of her, is the daughter. Number 1 can actually be proven, thanks to a conversation between her and another student. Unfortunately, though, I'm a simple noob who can't get this footage, so you'll have to rely on stock footage I found on YouTube. Yay.
Oh, well, it's nothing. If you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. But remember, I'm your friend, and I'd never judge you for anything. I guess there's one thing I want to talk about. I'm listening. Ever since my mom died, my dad's been drinking a lot. Sometimes, when he's drunk, he comes into my room and... forget I said anything. I really don't want to talk about it.
What? I think we can all agree that the story got a little bit more interesting. We felt so sorry for this guy, and then she just dropped the bomb that he... Well, if we're assuming she's the daughter, that he did naughty stuff to her. Tossing that aside a bit, her dad is indeed a drunk, so I'll give number 1 a yes. Also, there's an added little bonus that she said her mom died, which actually happened in the story as well. Number 2 is the only one that I can't really prove, but her being a teenage girl, I'd say it's extremely likely for her to have a computer. Number 3 can also be proven. Now, if you wait until 7:30 outside the school on the first day, you will see Coconut come out with her phone. She's answering to someone, but I'll just show you.
Sorry, my phone's ringing. I'll be right back. Hello? I told you not to call me when I'm at school. Like I said, that was a one-time thing. I don't want to do that again. How much did you say? It's just one more time, then I guess it's okay. How about tonight? Where we met last time? In Sisuta Town? Okay then, I'll see you tonight. I can't believe I'm doing this.
Now I know what her father meant when he said he was afraid where it came from. Huh. Number 4 can also be proven with a gameplay mechanic. If you kill someone, make the mop bucket water red, and then throw it down the rooftop onto Coconut at 7:31, this will happen.
What is this? Is this blood? Where did all this blood come? I can't go to class like this.
You can see she clearly has blood on her clothing. And that'll do it for today's episode of Analysis Time. I hope you all enjoyed that I took a murderous game and tried to focus on the lore of it. Yeah. If you want to know more about this game, or you want to play the Playable Sandbox demo, visit Yandere Dev's channel. And if he's watching this, love your work, man. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Stay cool. Bye.